Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your listening and viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable, artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you will save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you who use the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, we thank all of you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we are going to be launching our broadcast for a 1-hour broadcast. I will be announcing the date. We have not set the date as of yet. However, we will be going live. You asked for it, you got it. For 1 hour from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted. Now, having said that, I know that we to date have been telling everyone for our FijiWater.com sponsored promo to tune in at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Identify the first 3 songs that you hear. Text them along with your name and email address to the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. Okay, the only thing that is going to change, we want you to stay connected with us on our internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio at WKAPfaith.com. Now, the only thing that's going to change when we go live for 1 hour is that we're going to ask you to jump on to, if you're not already on, you should be on, but if you're not already on, we're going to ask you to jump on to WKAPfaith.com at 11:55 a.m. or 6 p.m. We're going to continue that at 6 p.m. But we're going to ask you to jump on at 11:55, and the first 3 songs that you hear before you jump on 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, select those first 3 songs you hear at 11:55 a.m. or 6 p.m. every day. You're going to text them with your name and your email address. One of our listeners and viewers every month will receive a case of Fiji water. And let me make sure I'm clear on this. You will receive 1 case. Each listener or viewer will receive, when you are selected, 1 case of Fiji water from FijiWater.com. We're going to be doing that promo for the entire year. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this at FijiWater.com. And so today, I'm going to address communications that came in from listeners and viewers. And I'm going to begin with this one because I have another one that's going to take a much longer time. So I'm going to begin with this one. You were in a relationship with someone who attempted, you said, to upgrade your state of mind and your standard of living. However, you said you were resistant, and now you want that, but you don't know where to get it. you have tried to reconnect with the individual. It's really difficult to reconnect with someone when they tried to pour into you and you were not ready to receive it. It's really difficult to do. Because one of the things you have to remember, you stated in your communication you were resistant. So all of that resistance eroded the desire to keep moving forward. So you can't cry over spilled milk, but what you can do is try a different approach. And so now that you want to upgrade your state of mind, you have to begin doing that and not waiting for someone else to do it for you. Someone will come along who will understand that you're trying to grow into this, and you'll have that opportunity again when you're prepared. If you don't prepare yourself, you're not going to have that opportunity. So let's focus on this. You've got to upgrade your state of mind. You've got to upgrade your state of thinking. As a man or woman thinketh, so is he or she. So think about this. What do you want for your life? You see, the people around you don't want any more for you than they want, they don't want any more for you than they have for themselves. Now, I've often said this, I've said this in sermons, I've said this, I'm sure, at some point in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. I understand that love is when you want for someone what you want for yourself. But there's also a scenario that is the opposite of that, and that is that some people don't want any more for you because they don't want any more for themselves. You've got to upgrade your thinking to, first of all, decide what you want to experience in your lifetime, both personally and professionally. You have to make a conscious decision that you want more for your personal life and you want more for your professional life. It cannot be the status quo. In other words, you can't stay where you are and upgrade in your mind and upgrade your state of mind. You have to make changes in the way that you think. So you have to desire more. And what I mean by desire more is that you have to want, first of all, to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly become. And then secondly, you have to want what God wants for you. And what God wants for you is of good and not of evil. It is of great and not of less. So you have to really make the decision that you're going to seek that path. That's the first thing. So that upgrades your state of mind, or that's the beginning process of upgrading your state of mind. Then you have to want to upgrade your standard of living. You said that when you were in the relationship, the person, he wanted to upgrade your standard of living. He wanted you to want more. He wanted more for you. And he was willing to pour into you. You're not getting that now. So now you've got to begin the process of doing that for yourself. Pardon me. To prepare yourself for what someone else may add to the equation. So you've got to think about it in these terms. It can't just be that you're satisfied with where you are right now. You've got to want more out of life. And when you want more out of life, you've got to work for more out of life. You've got to work. Life is going to give you exactly what you put into it. The energy you put out and the energy you put into life, that is exactly what you're going to get back. You're going to get that because that's exercising your faith. And one of the things that so many people struggle with in the Christian faith is that we want Jesus to be a genie in the Bible. We want to rub the Bible 3 times and we want him to pop out and grant us 3 wishes. And we want to talk about the goodness of the Lord, and we want to talk about how great he is. And we want to get all of our emotional charge without being physically charged. And physically charged means I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to give 100%. Now, every day is not going to be a perfect day, but every day is going to be the best day you can make it. So we have to work to that end. We have to make certain that what we're striving for is to not only become successful, but then to maximize our success. We have to put the work in because that is exercising our faith. And then what will occur in your life is that someone that God has appointed for your life will find you. He can't find you until you're prepared. You'll just keep going from relationship to relationship because it's not what God has appointed for you. And you haven't prepared yourself. You haven't been polished yet. You haven't been mined and polished. You're going to have to make the decision that that's what you want in your life so that you're open to surrender. And then the person that God has appointed for your life will be present and will bless your life, because that's what God intended for you from the very beginning, the foundation of the earth, just as he has for all of us. But as a man or woman thinks, so is he or she. And as you believe, so shall it be unto you. God gives to every man, woman, and child according to their measure of faith, according to what they can handle. And until you're ready to handle it, you cannot receive it. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Before I address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers, this segment is also brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. If you are in the market for a high-performance automobile, for one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com, where you will have the opportunity to virtually build out the type of Porsche you desire to own. And if you currently own a Porsche or desire to own a Porsche, and you're in our area, go to PorscheDelaware.com. If you are interested in purchasing a Porsche, ask to speak to Mike Didio, who is the general manager of PorscheDelaware.com. He will have someone assist you in selecting a Porsche you desire to own. And if you just currently own a Porsche and are in need of service, ask to speak to Mike Adams, who is the service manager of PorscheDelaware.com. He will make certain someone schedules an appointment for you, your vehicle is picked up at your home or office, and that a loaner vehicle is dropped off for you and returned to you when your service has been completed at PorscheDelaware.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are a business owner and your business has been making good progress. However, you said you were able to sustain yourself through the pandemic, and you said now you're ready to go to the next level and you're just not certain how to get there. So I'm going to take some time today to really break this down. And that's why I wanted to do the other communication first, because this is going to take a while. But I want everyone to hear this. However, it's real important that all of our listeners and viewers hear this, because it will give you information not only about being a business owner, but also about your career and how to get to the next level. But I want to address this business owner, and to God be the glory, your business is making good progress. The very first thing you're going to have to do to go to the next level is SWOT analysis. You're going to have to really sit down and determine in your current business, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what opportunities exist, and what are the threats to your success. You've got to do a SWOT analysis, because it's important for us to understand in business exactly what we want to accomplish moving forward. And it's important to do this for all of us listen, business owners, it's important for us to do a SWOT analysis on an annual basis at very least. It's really important to do that. You've got to know what your strengths have been during the course of the year, what your weaknesses have been, what opportunities have presented themselves, what opportunities may present themselves, and then what are the threats to those opportunities? What are the threats to your business? You've got to analyze that so that you have a complete understanding of what you can do moving forward to turn your strengths, well, let me rephrase that. Use your strengths to strengthen your weaknesses and to increase your opportunities and eliminate threats. That's got to be really an important part of next level thinking. Then we have to do this. We have to really do smarter goals. We have to really examine smarter goals. So, the first step in smarter goals is the S. It's really being specific. What do you want to accomplish? And you can't just say, I want my business to be successful. You can't just say, I want to make more money. You've got to be really specific about what you want to accomplish. Then you've got to focus on your measurables. You've got to really figure out how you can measure the steps of your success. What are your outcomes? What are your measurables? And then the next thing, and I'm going through this, you've got to make certain that they're achievable goals. You've got to set goals that you can achieve at least monthly, quarterly, and then annually. So, one of the things that I want to work off of is a monthly management report, developing a report that is going to manage the month. At the end of the month, I want to see on that report what's been accomplished. Monthly management report. So that's an MMR. And then there's what we call a QMR, which is a quarterly management report. So leading up to the end of the quarter, by the 20th day after the conclusion of the quarter, you should have a clear picture of everything that's been accomplished during the quarter and what the benefits are of that, both financially, successfully, and you got to be able to set achievable goals to be able to do that. And then there's the AMR, with annual management report. So you've got to be able to look at your measurables, you've got to be able to look at your outcomes, you've got to be able to look at what you've achieved. And you got to do that by making certain that, as we discussed, that they're measurable. What have I achieved? What do I desire to achieve, and what have I accomplished? And then they have to be relevant. So you want to diversify in some areas, but they have to be relevant to the business sectors that you're involved in. They've got to be relevant to continue moving forward, to continue making progress. They've got to be relevant to what you're doing. You don't want to skip around. So I'm going to do this first, and then I'm going to break it down a little further. And maybe I should just go ahead and do that as we go through, because I'll use some examples. So often people do this. Today they want to be this, and they want to accomplish this. Tomorrow they want to accomplish something else. Maybe next month they change the routine. They want to do something else. You cannot be all over the place in business or in your career. You've got to focus on your career goals, your business goals, and you've got to perfect the craft. So you've got to be able to do it on a consistent basis, but it has to be relevant to whatever sector of business you're in. So in addition to that, you've got to make them time sensitive. So they've got to be, you've got to say, okay, this is what I'm going to accomplish over this period of time. back to what I said, monthly management report, quarterly management report, annual management report. You've got to make certain that their time, and you may want to use the term time bound, but I always consider it to be time sensitive because they're self-imposed goal lines, self-imposed timelines. You've got to make certain that everything you do is focused on time, because we only get so many hours in every day, so many hours in every week, so many hours in every month, so many hours in every year. You've got to know how you're going to allocate those hours and make certain that you get the most out of them. You know, I'm big on time management. Time management is crucial if you're going to be successful. Then you have to evaluate. You have to evaluate where you are on each step, each level. You got to evaluate. You've got to move things forward to make progress. Then you have to evaluate what you've accomplished. Not because you want to rest on your laurels or rest in your accomplishments, but because if you get this accomplished on this level, you know the next level you'll be able to maximize. You've got to think about it in those terms. And then you've got to make revisions. So anything that hasn't been productive, hasn't resulted in accomplishments, you might have to make some revisions. If it's not working, look, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If it's not working, revise it. You've got to make certain you look at the overall picture when you are executing smarter goals. But the goal is to execute smarter goals. And that's one of the reasons that you're going to find is that consistency is going to play a big part. You've got to wake up every day and you've got to be committed to going to the next level. But it requires work to get to the next level. You can't just say you want to get there and then do nothing to accomplish that. So you've got to really first SWOT analysis, then you have to set smarter goals. If you're working on SMART goals, that's fine, but you need some smarter goals because you've got to make sure that there's a timeline for them, time bound. You got to make sure that they're time sensitive. You got to make sure you evaluate. You got to make sure that you make revisions. That's what's going to take you to the next level. The good news is that you want to go to the next level. See, the problem is we get comfortable doing what we are doing and we don't want to make any adjustments to go further. We don't want to move things further. It's very interesting. My wife and I just had a conversation about this very recently, about the fact that you have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's where progress comes in. You can get real comfortable doing what you're doing and flip the switch on automatic pilot and just do it every single day. That'll get results, but it won't make progress. So you always have to be a little bit comfortable being uncomfortable. You always have to be a little bit willing to be uncomfortable just to take the next step, go to the next level. Now, I'm not suggesting, and I want everyone to hear this, I'm not suggesting that you have to add stress to your life. I'm not suggesting that. What I am suggesting is that we want to make progress, that we really have to know that God wants every one of us to make progress. And that requires us to put in work. That requires us to do things that might be a little uncomfortable for us, but we're assigned to do them. And we've got to know that we're assigned to do them and trust God to give us the strength and give us the energy that we need to accomplish whatever He's purposed for for our lives. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Comcast Business. We all are in need of being more effective and more efficient in business. Comcast Business will help you do just that. Call Eunice at Comcast Business at 603-222-7706. Your code is Pastor Pope, and you will receive an $800 prepaid Visa gift card with a qualifying bundle. It has to be a qualifying bundle that you initiate with Comcast Business. You must be a new client. If you are not currently a Comcast Business customer, you are probably not maximizing your effectiveness and your efficiency. So go to Comcast Business, call Eunice at 603-222-7706. Your code is Pastor Pope, and receive an $800 prepaid Visa gift card with a qualifying bundle. And this segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. If you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores, or you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They have everything a man could possibly need. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York at any time, stop in at the retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. Home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. Both companies will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are in a relationship with someone who really does not want a relationship. What he wants is sex. And what you get in return is dinner, outings. You get to hang out. You get to socialize. But you want to know, how can you get him to desire to be in a relationship? So first you have to ask yourself, why do you think it is just sex? You said in your communication that he takes you out to eat, he takes you out for outings, you do things together. It's not just sex. What he's waiting for you to demonstrate to him that you're ready for a relationship. You haven't shown your desire to be in a relationship. You've only shown your desire to spend time together. You enjoy going out, and he enjoys sex. So do you. The problem is you haven't demonstrated to him that you want to be in a relationship. And let me tell you what that looks like. That doesn't look like people have been telling us it looks like. You know, society and all those that have been trying to sell materials to tell you how to have a relationship. No, it's very simple. You have to prepare yourself to be someone's wife. He's been prepared to be someone's husband. But what you both have been doing is spending time together, doing this dance around one another, spending time together, but you haven't demonstrated to him that you want to be in a relationship. And what that means is you haven't shown him that you want to be a wife. You've shown him that you want to be a girlfriend. And as long as you want to be a girlfriend, he's going to just let you be a girlfriend. You're going to have to change some things up and demonstrate how you would like to be in a relationship. You know, what does it look like for the future for the two of you? You're not even having those conversations, which means you haven't been a listener for a very long time and a viewer for a very long time. Because if you had, you'd know we've had a real conversation about what relationship looks like and how you get there. So you're going to have to make some decisions about what a relationship will look like for you, and ask him the question, what is his plan for the future of your relationship? I promise you he'll tell you, but you have to ask the question. Because at this point, you've been doing this dance for too long that if you don't ask the question, he's not going to ask the question. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all